Live from our Columbus, Ohio studio, we're talking all about accountability, what it looks like, the wins it creates, and the lessons learned. Let's dive in.
Live from Columbus, Ohio. OH! I-O! All right.
I don't know that one.
We got, just because we're here, we got a little Buckeyes paraphernalia for everybody here who's watching from office or wherever you are. Welcome to the episode of The Bridge. I am Andrew Catapano, your COO. With me, as always, Miss Heather Patrone, Mr. Jimmy Knight. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Before we start and we talk about what our meeting is going to be about today, the reason we are doing this live is because I noticed, and I don't know that a lot of you may know this out there, the first 3 episodes, while you were watching some canned video, we were 100% live during the whole thing.
Correct.
We watched the videos in real time. We talked to each other in real time. And that was the first time we had kind of interacted with each other. And the flow we all had together, I was like, people need to understand how good you guys are. It was amazing. So we are 100% live. There's no recording, no editing. Is there a delay? We can't curse, can't do any of that.
No.
Maybe there's no,
maybe a 3-second delay, but you can't do anything in 3 seconds. Oh, okay. So I can go.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
I just said peanut butter jelly. That's all I said.
All right.
HR's watching. I don't want to get fired.
You don't want employee relations.
No. All right. Today's episode is all about something that sounds simple, but actually shows up in hundreds of different ways every single day. It's accountability. All right. We're talking about accountability today on the podcast and
taking ownership.
Yes. And we're not talking theory. We're talking real shifts, real mistakes, real lessons, and what happens when people step up, take accountability, and represent our brand and the brands we represent with pride.
Right.
In addition to who we have in the studio today, we'll be talking with Mary Meeks, our talent acquisition director. Been a major player in our break fix division over years, and I can't wait talking. And we're talking live, Mary's trusting us here. We're talking live, and then we have somebody who I've just come to really get to know over the last year or so, Melissa Watson, in employee relations. She's going to tell us about some culture stuff we're working on and some different initiatives we have going on in employee relations that are close to her heart and mine and the company combined. And I'm really looking forward to talking with her as well. Things you should know.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be great. But before we get started, let's address the elephant in the room. This Super Bowl we just saw, and some accountability that I learned that Jimmy had to take at home. How'd you enjoy that Super Bowl?
Didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it. What? Why not?
My team wasn't in it.
Okay.
My wife had a laundry list of honey-do things I needed to handle.
He had his own team at home. He was back in.
I had some things that I had to do. So accountability.
You took accountability at home.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. So no Super Bowl for you.
None.
No Bad Bunny halftime show. No alternative show. Nothing. Okay. Well, how about you, Ms. Patrone?
I did not watch it. I was asleep.
Wow.
I was partying it up in Miami for my birthday.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Birthday.
And then came back exhausted. And so I slept through it.
All
sadly.
Right. I have to tell you, I'm going to round out the trifecta here. I barely paid attention to it as well. And I had to do, now what they say is Monday is what? The most called off day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Super Bowl. A lot of cocktail flus out there, right? I had to be on a plane at 5 o'clock in the morning to head up to Best Buy yesterday. So that was a double whammy of I could not watch the Super Bowl, had to get to bed on time, and had to be up early.
You were taking accountability.
Look at us.
Absolutely.
All honey-do list, sleep hours you got to catch up on.
Get your sleep for work.
And then we had to get a day fired up the next day. So, all right. I hear the Super Bowl was okay. I don't know. I'll have to check in at some other time. But please post in the comments what you thought about the halftime show. I know there's a lot of buzz, or what you thought about the Super Bowl in general, the wins, the losses, whatever you're thinking. We are picking it up in the comments here, right, Heather? We have access to it. So whatever you think we may want to shout out, Heather, if you got anything you want to talk about with the comments now, or otherwise how people will be interacting with the show before I get into accountability here. Any housekeeping we'd like to do?
I don't have that pulled up, to be honest. So
okay.
I'm going to be transparent, which is one of our core values. We had to do a switcheroo last minute with the live link here. So hopefully I can get this back in a minute, but
All right.
I
well,
will
take your
try.
time.
I will try to get that throughout the show, and we'll see.
Okay.
But
I see something up here, but at least on
Oh,
the
look.
screen, but I can't see that far.
Steve's the man. He got it made for us. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm
All
gonna
right.
need glasses.
Yeah, I'll need
There you
glasses.
go,
sometime.
Super Bowl was the best. A lot of
A lot
I
of
don't-
comments.
I can't see it.
I'm too old. I can't see that far. All right, let's get
Okay.
into it. All right, when you get it back on the iPad, if you can, please feel free to bring the comments. Also, do we say the phone number now? We're live here. Do we do that yet?
We're not going to say the phone number yet because I want to bring Mary in here first.
Got it.
But before this, we always like to talk to the man in the room, Jimmy, because he has the boots on the ground experience.
Okay.
Yes,
Jimmy
yes.
has a plethora of like heavy merchandising, field retail execution, leadership that he's done in the past. Like he's just seen it all. And so what I want to do is just level set. Let's talk about accountability first and what that looks like in the field, especially like Jimmy, like what do you think it looks like, especially between like a bigger, heavier reset or even a smaller merchandising project? What does accountability look like? Is it different? Is it different going from a bigger project or, versus a smaller one?
You know what? To be honest, I would like to say that it's all about ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Rather, if it's a large project, maybe a new store, 30 people, 40 people that you're managing, or if it's just one or two people, smaller set, it's based off the person. If they're owning that, their name is on it.
Mhm.
And that's pride, character. So it's built into the person when it comes to accountability.
Accountability is hard, though. I think sometimes because you have to be truly vulnerable in the sense that accountability sometimes lends itself to be open, right? In the sense that I am ready for feedback. I can take ownership of whether I've been doing something right or wrong, and I'm going to be vulnerable in this moment. That's not always easy because the normal, I think, human reaction to something is defensiveness. Hey, what happened here? Well, it wasn't mine. Hey, what went on here? So when we talk about accountability, I want to talk about two people though, and I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole. There is an accountability of the person, right, who is expected to say something, do something, but there's also the person who wants the accountability. There should be a method in which you solicit that, right? Don't be negative. Don't come out. I have a tendency to, because sometimes I've got this face when I ask questions that people say they don't understand my question, right? Because I have this intense face. So maybe I get a defensive answer because I don't have a disarming personality when I approach some people sometimes. So if you're a leader and you want accountability, think about how you're asking for that accountability, right? Be a little bit more disarming and not so arming. Be open and solutions oriented, right?
Yep.
And then if you're the person who's being requested that accountability, go ahead and be vulnerable, be transparent, and call that leader's bluff. You want honesty? Here we go, right? Does that
Yes.
make sense? I
Makes
mean, what do we
sense.
think about that? Anything?
I agree. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, from a leader's perspective, I think it's on us a lot of times of how we solicit that accountability, the answers we get. So,
Right.
any other comments on that? Please give it to us in the comments section. Heather, go ahead.
We'd like to hear what you think accountability looks like. Like me personally, like showing up, being prepared, right? Like communication, owning all those outcomes. So what else? If you can put it in the comments, we want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Whoops, you're Ohio.
My house. No, I will tell you though, there's a lesson we just talked about earlier, our children, right? About when is the appropriate time for, and actually let's sidebar for a second. When is it time for them to be walking around in a neighborhood? And we talked about taking accountability and everything else. I think it's also something that when I start to, my son is 7 years old. How old are your children?
12.
10,
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
10.
And 10. And I teach, my son who's 7 going on 8, when faced with something, because he's starting to come to terms with the fact of you're not always going to get in trouble for everything, right? I just want to understand what happened. And a lot of times people, when they're expected to be accountable, they always think that they're going to, that it's always going to reap the worst results. Like if
Right.
I'm honest or if I'm transparent, Oh,
Well,
they're
that has a lot to do with your upbringing too. Like, like my dad was very Italian, domineering, and like he was not nice a lot of times. You know, my real dad was like so hard on me, and you know we had corporal punishment and things like that. So, you know, it depends on your background, but I think like when you get older, like I learned, oh, you know, it's better to have more curiosity and not judge people when you ask them things
That's right.
quickly, right?
That's right.
So what you're saying is you like to approach your son with a more curious manner instead of
Let's just talk through this, right?
Right.
So now, fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep forgiving the same mistake, son, right? So at some point, there may be consequences if you keep doing the same thing over and over again with the bad result. But at the end of the day, why don't we approach each situation with the right mental attitude? We've talked about that a few times. That says, I'm going to enter a situation curious. I'm going to enter a situation not thinking that maybe it's not the worst. Maybe it's something I don't understand as the leader asking the question. Okay.
Right.
Let's enter each situation curious. And then the person who we're engaging, that individual, let's enter that situation vulnerable to that curiosity. Hey, what do you want to learn? Okay. But what's going to come out of that is there has to be trust on both sides. You can't violate that curiosity and then hammer them when they give you the honesty. Right. And on the other side of it, if you're going to be vulnerable, that individual needs to respond to that vulnerability with maybe both positive and negative. What if the outcome is positive? Let's reward that. Hey, good behavior. Let's not always hold someone accountable to the negative.
Right.
What about the positive? Right.
I mean, that
great
garners
outcome.
better results when you're you know doing the positive when you know you're reinforcing positive behavior.
Absolutely. Especially, you know, I always say you have to be conversational versus confrontational.
I love that.
You know, so you can't be afraid to make mistakes in the field. It's going to happen. It's how you communicate, how you move past it and get a resolution. And that's the key. And you have to be vulnerable to let people know that you made a mistake.
Right.
And you can move forward.
That's right.
Don't cover it up.
That's right.
So speaking of making mistakes in the field, I do want to bring Mary in now because, you know, even though Mary is director of talent acquisition for us now and in charge of, you know, she's being held accountable for our new hires. So even though she's doing that, she does have a wealth of experience, like supporting specifically with our break fix division. And I do want to ask, like, Mary, I'm sure you've seen or heard even stories, you know, Mary's husband is Joe Meeks, who is in charge with some training stuff. So he's in the field all the time. He was on a big project in, I believe it was Utah that you kind of called out at one point, that Best Buy project.
Absolutely.
So he was in on that. And I'm sure he even tells Mary stories of what he's seen firsthand in the field of, you know, what happens when a new person like makes a mistake and how should that person really conduct themselves, you know, in the beginning? Because everyone makes mistakes. And what does accountability look like? And how do you learn from making a mistake?
I love that. Welcome, Mary. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good afternoon, Mary. Good afterternoon.
Hi, Heather. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Dean.
We are live, Mary.
Nice to be here with you.
It is wonderful to be here.
Bridge.
On the
The
bridge. All right,
bridge.
before we get started with that question, Mary, a little bit of your background. I understand you got a big military career here, big military service family. What's going on here? Tell us a little bit about Mary Meeks. Come on.
She's like, oh, geez.
Right out of the gate.
Well, gee, Andrew, I'm on the spot now.
That's right. That's how this works. We are live. I want to understand Mary as the person before we get to know Mary as the professional.
All right, I'll give you a quick bio quick.
Thank you.
I grew up in upstate New York. A lot of snow up there. And out of college there, I went, became a naval officer as a ROTC. And I served 7 years there, and it was one of the most rewarding things of my life. So I'm not a career person, but so very proud of having had the opportunity. And then from there, I actually got out, did some manufacturing for 2 years, and then I got into this industry and kind of been here ever since. Been with the company for, I think, going on 17, 18 years now.
Oh my.
So,
well,
yeah.
I thank you for being our first live guest here. And I've gotten to know Mary in the sense of her transition from the onboarding team into the recruiting team and now leading our recruiting. And I just want to give you a shout out before we start to get into the grace and the demeanor you have shown through the transition that you've had to deal with for 2025 and the responsibility and the professionalism, I believe, that you've shown and what I believe you want to accomplish and the passion you want to accomplish it with recruiting on Jeremy Rogers' team. It is no surprise you are our first guest. And I want to tell you personally, as I get to know you, how impressed I am in the beginning stages of understanding who Mary Meeks is. And that's from Andrew. So thank you. Okay.
It's awesome, Andrew. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Very kind.
And so
Awesome.
now the grilling starts. Okay.
All right.
As we call it, is the top of the Oreo cookie. Now we get the cream. All right. All right. Mary, listen, you've come across a lot of field reps who are new and know of many who are seasoned, right? What are the things you see that enable success from a new hire, like right off the bat? What is the first things, the new things you say, I know that looks like success to me?
Yeah. Great. That's a great question. And it's interesting, but in the process in the upfront side of it, in recruiting and even through onboarding, we see qualities that are the same, much of the same of the things we want to see of our current workforce today. So our current workforce is eliciting these qualities, and that's what we're looking for with people that come in. So some of those things, examples of it are people that, are genuinely honest in what they're looking for. They're not giving us canned answers, right? So they're actually interested in the role and they want to be a part of the company. They're also people that want to understand the next steps and they dig in. So some examples of that are, let's say that we interviewed somebody and we like them and we feel they're a good match for the company. We make an offer to them. This person that, wants to understand the next steps and digs in is a person that gets their new hire paperwork done in a day and they're off and running. Same type of quality that we have in our workforce. Need those folks coming in the door like that too. Another example is, somebody who is put into a training program right off the bat and they go through all the steps and they complete it on time or before schedule. That's awesome. That's being accountable, organized, digging in. It could also be a new hire that comes in and they're a little bit unsure that they're going to be joining a team, where they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to be dressed, what they're supposed to have in their toolbox. But they call and they ask their district manager and they get clarification.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are folks that follow through and engage, that ultimately right off the bat help our success as a company.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me the one Mary Meeks go-to tip for a new person that says, listen, this is the one thing I can tell you. And if you put this in your back pocket, this is the most common field mistake. Watch out. Don't do this. Do you have one in your back pocket that you just say, this is the one I would tell everybody?
Yeah. I think, Andrew, what I'd say is that, I don't mean this to come off negative right off the bat here, but
yeah, be honest.
None of us are going to be perfect in our new role. Expect that. But we can be capable in our purpose and our drive. And I think that's a thing to remember.
I love that.
Well put.
I want to just butt in and say that I think communication is one of the most important things, because I've heard from, FOMs, field, if you're listening, you don't know what that means. It's a field operation manager, say, I had this new hire come, they were super eager, right out the gate. And then somehow they just don't communicate, and that is the biggest mistake you can make, because especially if you're doing more of our kind of gig work, they're not going to call you back for work. They're going to go with somebody who is communicating, who, hey, I have a flat tire or whatever it is. And we talked about this in another episode. You have to be proactive. You talked a lot about being proactive with and curiosity. What's the dress code like? That's being proactive, getting all your ducks in a row beforehand, having good communication. Even with some of the team leads, they always do a morning huddle. That's being prepared. They want to make sure that everyone's aligned. And that, again, goes down to communication and being proactive and prepared. So I think those are really good tips.
I'm going to ask Mary a question, then I'm going to put Jimmy on the spot. All right, I'm going to ask you the question, Mary, and then I want a real scenario that's personal to you, Mr. Jimmy. Okay. Mary, how do you personally, this is Mary I'm talking to, own up to mistakes when they happen, especially when the stakes are high? And then Jimmy, I want you talking to the field, Mary, of how they actually go through that when they own it, what it looks like. And then Jimmy, I want a real scenario of how you did it or how you witnessed somebody who just owned it. The stakes were high. It is what it was. Here's me. All right. So I'm going to take that from you. And Mary, you talk directly to the field and tell them how they do it.
Oh, okay. And Jimmy too. So here we go, Jimmy. We're like tag teaming this one. Ready?
Okay. Together.
First of all, nobody likes to make mistakes, but like we said, we're not going to be perfect. And if we were called out that we made a mistake, to me, I want to understand why, because it's important that obviously it was a direction that we didn't want to go in, and that's okay. So the first thing I would do is I'm going to genuinely apologize, but then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to course correct and figure out what I can do to avoid that from happening again.
That apology is sometimes tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's vulnerable to make that apology, but I agree.
And you're building trust too. Mm-hmm. Trust is so important.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy.
Definitely. I can say wholeheartedly, back in the day, if no one's seen it, I didn't make a mistake. It's only a mistake if somebody catches it.
That's not transparency, Jimmy. It's one of our core values.
It's not transparent. But
it's honest. He's honest.
I'm being honest.
Is it like the 5-second rule with a cookie? Yeah, it's 5 seconds. You got it.
I got it. But
you can eat it.
As I matured and start working in the field, working on some intricate projects, ones where it's, you're talking $1 million projects, where you can't, if you do make a mistake, you have to call it out. I used to have a project manager that for another company that I work for, and we were doing a ton of Best Buy projects. I want to say it was a Samsung wall.
The Samsung wall.
I just looked at them yesterday, the new ones.
And I had no idea what I was doing, but I was very eager. And I've done other projects. So it's like, okay, you know what? That will translate to this.
Right.
And it didn't. And I screwed this wall up so bad. I drill holes all in the front of it. And I'm trying to put putty in it and color it. And long story short, that project had to get postponed. I had to ship out another header. But at that point, I should have just said, hey man, I didn't know what I was doing. I apologize. And he forgave me. He said, hey, listen, man, I get it, but don't do it again.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't do it again. But I gained that trust from him. I had to be vulnerable. I had to tell him that, hey, man, I screwed up. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't.
In that scenario, did he gain trust with you the way he handled your honesty, though? In the sense of, hey, man, it happens, but if it happens again, do you give him credit for how he dealt with your honesty as a leader, or could he have done things differently, or was it okay?
I want to say that after he hollered at me for several minutes, called me a couple of names, then he came back and said, you know what, you're probably one of my most seasoned guys, and if you made this mistake, I'm pretty sure others will make the mistake. So the good part about it is that we can get this out. And get it out to everybody so they can understand what not to do. So it was a learning moment for what not to do, and that was the good thing. And after that, I gained his trust, and I was the person that he looked and said, hey, I want Jimmy on that.
But I look at it too from his perspective, and I don't know this individual who was your supervisor at the time, but the fact that, okay, listen, maybe they didn't handle the first interaction first well. They were a little upset, right? And then they walk away and say, oh, I could have handled that better. That accountability they had to come back and say, listen, man, maybe I could have handled that better. But, I love that story. I love that story from
Yeah.
beginning to end because there's a lot of accountability. There's a lot of ownership on both sides, both the leader and the employee.
And
It's a great story. Thank you.
Discovery too,
Yeah.
which is good.
I love it.
We have a few more minutes with Mary. And as a comms director, I would be remiss if I did not talk about the fact that we have a lot of job openings
Oh,
right
boy.
now. If you go on our career site, channelpartners.com/careers, you can see a map where we're hiring. And I don't know, Steve, are we able to pull up this little video that we have? I want to play this video because it's super great. It's created by our creative director, Adam Radabab. Big shout out to him.
Okay.
But it really does kind of give you this brand awareness of the different roles that we have at our company and what we're hiring for. So I would love to kind of play this video and talk about the different roles that are available. And while Steve is pulling that up, I'll talk about
I do have a question for Mary, though.
Oh.
Well, unless you go ahead. Go.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you're going to see like different, I call them archetypes, right? Like you're going to see different archetypes in this video.
Okay.
And the video is called Channel Your Potential. And basically you see a woman who's like getting ready in the mirror and she's looking for jobs every day. And there's nothing popping up for her. And she loves makeup. She's doing these YouTube tutorials and putting makeup on. And then the next thing you know, she gets a job at Channel Partners. And now she's like almost like brand ambassador, cosmetic merchandiser type person, right?
Do what
And
you
so
love.
we're doing a lot of cosmetics right now. So if anybody likes to work in different retailers like Ulta around cosmetics and things like that, then you're going to love this type of work. Also, we have the like break fix archetype. And this is a person that is, you know, the Mr. IT fix it guy around the house. Like if your iPad breaks down or your phone isn't working, you're going to this guy going, help me fix this. I'm
We all know them.
tech
Yep.
challenged,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is the type of person that we need as well. And then, you know, we also have brand ambassadors and things like that. But I want to hear from Mary. I don't think we can pull the video, which is totally fine. Share that out later. But I want to ask Mary, what are the big roles that we're hiring for right now? And what are your biggest needs and what do those roles look like?
Yeah, sure. And thanks, Heather, for putting a little bit of plug there for channelpartners.com/careers and just reemphasizing it real fast. I'll try and go through fast. We kind of have three buckets that just to classify it that exist on our website. And there's plenty of opportunities that exist. So before I go into those real fast, please don't underestimate our referral program either. What it is that our team, any one of you active associates in our company, refer people to our company is the first part of our vetting out process for a person. Having your stamp of approval on it is like 10 times as good as hiring somebody we know nobody about.
Right.
So please, please, if you know somebody that, well, I'm just going to flash through a couple of these places, direct them to our website. And there's a bonus for, referring people that are full-time field, $200. For a part-time field person, it's $100. And we really value those referrals. So
Wow.
Yeah, there it is. There's the
Wow.
QR code. So if you're looking, if you're out there and you don't work for us,
thanks, guys.
scan the QR code with your phone.
Now, also, we have that video. I think he can play. I think we've got it before Mary starts. If you want to still play the
Sure.
Mary, hold that thought. We're going to play that video real quick.
Will do.
One.
I love it, Adam.
Wow.
Thank you. Great job,
It
everybody.
gave me chills.
So-
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror. What is your potential? What are your skills? What do you like to do? What are you passionate about?
I want to
Maybe-
work there. Where do I get that job? Place looks great.
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh my goodness. Mary, get us back on track here for heaven's sake.
Oh, geez, that was really good.
No, I
Um,
do want to say something to Mary though. Mary, you and I we've been talking now, and I want to be real clear about this. We are powered by people, driven by innovation.
Yes.
We know that, right?
Right.
I want to be very clear that the powered by people comes first. All right. Someone still has to show up. And that someone will be us
Mhm.
for a very, very long time. Okay. So what I've challenged Mary with is give me the best. Give me the best, and let's keep the best. Let's harness the best. Let's train the best. Let's cater to the best. Let's reward the best. But that goes both ways. If you bring your best for us, we want to bring the best for you. We want to give you incentives, rewards, training, level. I've told Mary the sky is the limit, Mary. If we're going to expect the best, we have to be the best too.
Mhm.
I want a best-in-class organization that finds, places, treats, trains, holds on to the best this world can offer us. And if that's you, I want you to find Mary.
Right.
And if we are lucky enough to find you, you better challenge us to keep you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. And that's what I've challenged Mary to do. And she has started to rise to that challenge alongside of Jeremy Rogers and Aaron Spiegel and Matt Britton and that team. And I could not be more excited. And Mary, the bar is high. All right. And we're ready for you
Right.
to show us how we're going to be powered by our people. So follow that.
Mary, I just want to thank you. I just
Love
want to
it.
thank you so
Andrew,
much.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for coming on today. And I know Andrew was saying we want the best. We have some of the best.
Mhm.
I think this is the time where we ask some of the best to call in. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
We want to hear from you guys. So if we're going to put this phone number
Oh
up,
boy, this is dangerous.
if you want to write it down, 614-664-9564.
Okay. You can call
That
right
is
to
the
us, right?
number. and
614-664-9564.
we have it up on the screen.
Jimmy, they say you got to
Okay.
repeat it 3 times
Okay.
on the
614-664-9564. Special to the recruiters.
I hear something, right? Is that
I
us?
got 3. Here we go.
Oh,
we got our
boy.
first caller.
Let's do it. Whatever.
Call from
Dustin Hall. I know
to
this thing.
accept, press 1. To
Oh.
send a voicemail.
How do I press 1 here?
I know. We're learning as we go here. Is he
Dustin?
on now? Dustin?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Dustin. How are you, buddy?
Not doing too bad. It's warm here in Missouri for a change.
Oh
The
in,
wow.
show me
February,
state.
so all is good.
The show me
That's
state.
right.
All right, I'm not
Right.
aware of Mr. Dustin Hall. Who are we talking to
Dustin
here?
Hall is a FOM. Again, that's a field operation manager for our merchant install. Mostly it's retail execution team.
Okay. Out of Missouri, the show me state. Mr.
Welcome,
Hall,
welcome.
it's your dime, my friend. You are our first caller. Make it count.
Awesome. So I just wanted to call in and talk about what accountability means to me when we represent our brand channel partners.
Love it.
So for me, accountability means caring enough to truly own my work. I take responsibilities for my daily tasks because I know my role impacts the team and the brand. I don't wait to be asked. I show up, follow through, and do what I say I'm going to do.
Right.
If something goes right, I celebrate the people around me, from my DC to the project managers to our techs out in the field. If something goes wrong, I own it, I learn from it, and I make it better. Representing our brand with accountability means being trustworthy, transparent every day. And that's something I take pride in and learn from our great leaders above us.
I love it.
That's
I love
awesome.
it.
Excellent.
Dustin, thank you so much for calling in. Here's what I feel like right there. He said one thing, though, that I want to make sure we reiterate. Celebrate the things around me. We don't do
Right.
that enough sometimes.
Yeah.
Accountability is not always about what we're doing wrong. Accountability is showing up when we're doing it right.
Right.
That's
Okay?
it.
Man, thank you, Dustin. Celebrate the things around you too. I want everybody, if you're in a leadership position, to take a minute today. I don't care if it's after this podcast and for no other reason, but to tell them something they did right. I'm challenging anyone who has a direct report after this to call them and just say, hey, man, just calling to tell you, I appreciate that.
Right.
That's it. That's all I want to tell you.
Thank you. Go
Yes.
long way.
Ugh. All right. Anybody else? Thank you, Dustin. You want to take another call?
I think I did, but now I can't hear anything. Hello, are you with us?
Hello.
Yes.
Who is this?
Who do we got?
This is Becky Spencer.
Oh, hey, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
We know Becky.
I know Becky.
Boy, she sounds positive. Where's Becky from?
Becky, where are you again? Where are you located?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Where in Florida? Where are you located in Florida, Becky?
Morriston, Florida.
Where is that? Near?
It's northern Florida. It's about 2 hours north of Tampa.
Oh,
Ocala.
Okay,
By
there you
Ocala.
go.
Okay.
In the
Nice.
Gulf there.
Horse
Sure.
country.
All right. Well, second caller.
Do you have anything to share about accountability or
Yeah,
a question or anything?
Yeah, that was a great job, Dustin. It's hard to follow. So to me, accountability is, of course, we always take responsibility for our mistakes. And, sometimes we make mistakes with people's payroll and we just need to own it. We need to say, I'm sorry, I missed it. We
Right.
move on, get it fixed for them, do the adjustment. I also like to, as far as accountability, make sure when my district coordinators or even, like that, we acknowledge them and let them know that they're doing a great job. Even with our team leads, we just need to uplift everybody and stay positive. I just went through a really rough month last month and negativity creeped in and I had to turn it around and take accountability and get back on track with a lot of hours, new hires, just trying to get everybody in the right spot.
How are you doing?
We did good. We got a lot of some new hires that were amazing, some not so much, but we pivoted. We put them in the spot they needed to be. And we're very successful last month with completing a lot of hours. Couldn't have done it without the help of everybody, district coordinators, Nikki, everybody was very supportive.
Give me one shout out.
Accountability.
Give me one shout out right now that you want to give someone on your team by name what they did. Positive.
I'd like to shout out Tamara Brace. She's a very great team lead. She's very positive. She's great in her role, communicates well. She's amazing.
Awesome. Good work, Tamara.
Good work, Tamara. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Rebecca. I appreciate your work out there in Florida on behalf of Channel Partners and great shout out.
Yes.
I'm loving this. I'm loving it. And Jimmy, you're carrying us as always. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
We probably have time for one more call.
One more call. I love it.
I know there was it looked like somebody from a photography phone number. It's saying H. Marie Photography was calling at one point and some 740 number. So if anybody else wants to call and share a story, like maybe a shift that you absolutely crushed it and why, or, if you see somebody else taking ownership and you want to give them a shout out, feel free to call. Or if you have a question, I know Andrew is very big about that as well. So
yeah. And I will tell you, as we're waiting for this next person to call in, there's a lot of accountability. I will tell you from the leadership perspective, I know we're going to have straight everybody, but on behalf of Mr. Falk, and Ms. McGivelry, our CFO, there's a lot of change that happened, right? And there's a lot of things that we did not do perfectly from our seats. I have to own that, right? I know Jim has to own that, and Katie owns it too.
Integrations are tough. Model, you can't use your kitchen for like how many months because it's changing.
That's right.
Right. You figure out ways to maneuver.
Right.
Yeah, and we've a lot of time. At the end of this year, there were some things that I know Mr. Falk was had to own, and say, hey, there was things we did differently. So on behalf of the C-Suite team, before we take this call, go ahead and take it, Heather. On behalf of the
H. Marie Photography.
Oh, there we go.
There's H. Marie. It's a good plug for her.
Yeah.
Do we have someone on the line? All right. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to make this point. Welcome to the show. On behalf of the C-Suite team, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're human just like everyone else. We will own and we'll take accountability for what we do right and what we do. On behalf of us, we're human just like you, and we're doing our best, and we appreciate it. We have someone on the line. Who do we got here, Heather?
Who's on the line?
Hi, this is Haley.
Haley?
That was the caller earlier with H. Marie Photography.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
quick plug to a sponsor of our show.
Everybody just got shout outed for.
So if anybody needs any graduation portraits, H. Marie Photography always a sponsor.
You know, this is a part of live human entertainment.
I
It is
love
great.
it.
Thank you so much for that. I wanted to just you were talking about a day-to-day basis. You know,
Yes.
I'm part of the Break Fix team in Illinois.
Oh, nice.
So I go into Targets and Best Buys on a daily basis, and my job is basically just to make sure that our boots on the ground are doing what they're supposed to do. You know, I walk into a store, sign in the vendor log, walk the electronics department, you know, and really make sure that we have everything formed and functional for customers and clients and all of our brands that we support and sponsor every day. So it's happy to be a part of the team, and
Right.
I like
Starts at the sales
that we
floor.
have.
I know.
Round
All right,
up.
you called in.
Yep,
I'm gonna
yep.
put you on the spot.
Mhm.
Give me a time where you did something and you had to be accountable and own it.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for this? I don't know. Are we sure we're really ready for
Come
this?
on,
Okay.
bring
So,
it.
Transparency.
Honesty.
I was having a really long week. I had 55 hours and I was installing a tablet. And instead of doing the proper way, which is using the MTI tool to remove the puck, I used a flat-ended spatula, like rubber spatula, and ended up accidentally prying the battery out of the tablet. Like it popped from the inside and lit on fire. So that
This
was
is worse
on
than your
a
Best Buy.
recorded line. And I had to hold all accountability. I had to call the PML. I had to take the tablet outside of the store because it was, you know, smoking.
Oh my goodness.
So if we really want a chaos story, that's the chaos of all chaos stories. I had to admit it, you know, be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I lit a tablet on fire. And the questions and confusion was, you did what? What happened? Well, this is what happens when you have sleep deprivation and
Right.
you're kind of, you know, but
Are
next
you-
time, always use the MTI tool. Always use the proper tool.
Jimmy, what is it, proper procedure over here? I see you laughing right
Yeah.
out of the gate.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
At least she owned it. But
She owned it.
I
And-
think into the mental healthness we're about to have to. Listen,
Hey,
get
at
that
least,
sleep.
you know, we all gotta get some rest,
Yes.
some rest and some sleep and some proper time, you know.
That's exactly
Right.
But
right.
we all gotta learn. We
Yeah.
all gotta learn from our mistakes. So
Exactly.
you know, perfect way.
You'll
How-
never do that again.
I got a question though. How did that customer, how did they react to you when you had to be transparent?
So it wasn't a customer's tablet. It was a demo unit. So
Okay.
what is a part of that? Part of our job actually on a daily basis is to make sure that the security is armed and functional to make sure that people can't take the tablets. If you know they do, alarms are going to sound off and somebody is
Yeah.
going to be aware of that presence that somebody's trying to take it. So our job, it's quite important to make sure that they're all armed and secured. So when you're doing that, you have to have the proper tools, i.e. that day that I didn't, and release it a certain way. And I won't disclose, obviously. And that's how you properly. If you don't properly remove it, you could run the risk of obviously damaging the tablet or doing something proper, you know, improper that way.
Lesson
But
learned.
it
Yeah,
was simply
lesson learned, yeah.
CRC'd. Yep, CRC'd, sent, you know, elsewhere, receiver wise, but otherwise, you know, just a demo unit.
Well,
Thank you for owning it. Thank you for realizing your mistake and owning it. Parent with us here today. And please get some sleep. All right.
Oh
Get some
gosh,
rest.
no, it wasn't even this week. It was a long,
Yeah, that
long
was a long
time ago
time
for the
ago.
record.
All right,
I
good.
am fully rested now.
All right,
I am fully
fantastic.
rested. We are all good.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. And thank you for calling in.
All right.
And a side note, I love when people have entrepreneurial spirit. I know we joke about it, but I think entrepreneurial spirit just breeds, you know, keeping that mind active, right? What are you continuing to learn? What are you continuing to do, both professionally and personally to advance yourself? So I love that. I love everything about it. And everyone who's called in seems so nice. I
Yeah.
love getting to know everybody. That's the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Back and forth, two-way communication. All right, Miss Patron, what is next?
Well, we have Melissa Watson, our
Yes.
employee experience manager here, and she's going to give us a culture update. And then for the employees listening, then we're going to go right after this. We have an internal meeting that we're going to hop onto. So
Yeah. So we do have Miss Watson. Ah, there she is. Huge fan of Miss Watson. But so you guys know the format, right? So we used to have Straight Talk, and then Straight Talk had a lot of what we call culture initiative updates and what we call soft updates to the field, right? That are okay for public consumption. But then we had some parts of Straight Talk that were not for public consumption, that were C-suite updates and some different things that we want to make sure you guys understand about the status of the business, right? So we're going to continue to have those updates after this podcast, but we want to continue to have all the stuff we used to have. That is okay. The culture updates and where we're going as far as our people are concerned. So with that, Miss Watson is going to give us what we would typically have. And I've got some questions about her of where we're going in our employee experience in 2026. And another fantastic individual who I've gotten to know over this last year. And I find to be one of our key rock stars here. I do.
She's a powerhouse.
Powerhouse. Ms. Watson, welcome to the show.
She's frozen.
Hi, thank you for having me. Am I still frozen?
Yeah, I think you are. That's
She's
okay.
frozen, but we
hear
can
you.
at least go.
There you
got
go.
Yeah, a little. We got internet issues, but you know what? We're a live show. It happens. Good to see you, Miss Watson. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Heather.
Yep.
Quick. Do we have any call out into the culture updates? I think we got.
we want to go into the team's champions because it's so important.
Go for
and
it.
We're running out of time here, so
Go.
I would love to pull up that slide. Melissa, talk about some of these amazing workers that we have that just got awards.
Yes. So obviously I want to give this shout out to you guys about these team champion winners. You guys are doing so many great things across the business. Anything from sharing best practices to lifting each other up, and honestly just making the work you feel easier and more connected. I love honestly seeing the collaboration across everywhere, across each part of the business. It's been really cool for people. For the latest winners too, you guys can always check them out within the team's the inside channel, the newsletter. So just really excited to see all the winners again.
All right, and if you don't hub, you can, go to the portal, get to the hub, and then check it out from there.
I love the team's champions winners. I love when we do that. I think that's showcasing our value, minded why it is that we do what we do here.
Yeah,
is fantastic.
and
So
we
thank
need
you.
more nominations.
Yes.
How do we get? How do they get them? How do we
Keep
nominate?
nominating.
How does it happen? What's the nomination process?
So basically, there's a form that you can fill out and you can get to the hub to get to the form. It's been in the newsletter. It's been in communications, but you can always email employeeexperience@channelpartners.com and they can send that to you.
And anybody can nominate.
You have to be, you're going to,
District manager.
your manager
Yeah, your
needs
manager.
to, be the one
Fantastic.
nominating.
Okay. Next time I know we're not going to do it. I want to go through the thing again. What happens when you're nominated? What do you get? And, kind of go through it, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll do that next time. Okay.
I think, Melissa, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, perfect. And then I think we want to talk about quickly some of the other updates that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Wellness is something that I definitely wanted to touch on with you guys here today. So kind of with the team's champion in mind and the idea, some of our wellness initiatives this year are going to tie into that too. Not just physical, but financial and emotional wellness too. I'm a big believer in making the most of the resources that we have. And for me personally, one of the things that I really dipped into is the financial planning workshops from Bank of America. There is a ton of information that they cover in there. I personally signed up for an account with them. I didn't have one in the past. And when I did that, I did qualifying deposits and I actually got some cash back as a bonus. So it's kind of a really cool perk that I was able to use. I took that and I tied it with my vision benefits, and then I was able to get these really cool Meta Ray-Ban glasses. So just kind of think about wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Isn't that cool?
Using our resources. Sign
Yeah,
up with
using
Bank of America. If you're listening, if you're an employee, you get extra premium account that you have to usually have I think it's $25,000 in the account.
Really?
You get all these benefits for free. You don't have to have $25,000 in the account. You just sign up because you're, a Channel Partners employee and you get all these perks. I know Melissa took her daughter to the museum because they have free museum days.
How do they
that.
how do they get an understanding of how to do that?
Read the newsletter, read the communications that I send out in email. So check your email. Sometimes I text out some of this information too. So
Okay.
if you're not part of our texting network, then you'll need to opt in for text messaging. And so I can send some follow-up information. I always put it in the newsletter how to opt in to text.
Yeah.
So check the newsletter.
and guys, I think when you get the text, obviously it's not mandatory that you look at your text, not mandatory that you read them. It's a volunteer, but there's so much good information that maybe could impact you beyond what you think we have available. So I encourage you to do it. I can't make it mandatory, but I encourage you to check your text on your personal time, because there's a ton of good information there that I think you might find helpful.
And free is always better.
Free is always better.
I mean, you're getting great advice from financial advisors. So why wouldn't you want to kind of learn? Be curious.
And what Melissa just touched on there is about wellness. I'd like to talk to her a little bit about that, because I've challenged Melissa. Again, you can talk about it. Empathy without action is an opinion. All right. Care without action is an opinion. And I'm not about just having an opinion. I'm about having some actual meat behind it. Right. So what I told Melissa was, we got a lot of work from home. We got a lot of people who spend a lot of time alone. We got a lot of people who spend a lot of time in cars traveling. We got a lot of people who spend time alone at home, working by themselves, maybe just interacting phones or emails, or some of us have families, some of us don't. Some of us have pets, some of us don't. Some of us live in cold weather areas with lots of snow and gets dark quicker, and some of us live in beautiful Florida. So there's different mental and emotional and physical needs that we have based on how we work. And I want Melissa to start to pay attention to those different levers that our people have in the field. I've encouraged her, and we're going to talk about this, Melissa, to do more activities, to do more challenges, to do more thought-provoking things around wellness and health, real things. Get up and take a walk. Get up and get an accountability partner. Get up and maybe choose... And I've had to do this, so please don't, I don't mean anything by it, but choose a salad over a pizza for lunch one time, right? Because of all the, how it makes you feel. We're going to educate you guys. And I know you get on the road. I tell Howard, our CEO, I told him the other day, I'm going to out myself. I said, what is the record, do you think, for eating a 10-piece nugget in one sitting of time? What do you think the record is for that? I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I did it in 1:37 seconds, including dipping sauce. All right. In a car. Bad choice. I immediately regretted it. But, making good choices like that when we're on the road is sometimes hard, right? I travel a lot. It gets all out of my element.
You have to get disciplined.
Got to get disciplined. So I want Melissa working on that kind of stuff to remind us that routine is routine, and accountability to that routine breeds health. Okay. So Melissa, anything else you want to talk about that, about what's maybe coming, or your response to any of that? Because it's important to me, and I believe it's important to our people, but your thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, guys, if you guys would just indulge me a little bit, I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable. On a deeper level, honestly, wellness really hits me personally, and wellness matters to me personally. Because I've seen the impacts that it makes on ourselves, and just even checking on those around us, like Andrew. Not a lot of people know, but I have lost my dad to alcoholism, depression, and eventually suicide. I know that's obviously a heavy part of me is to be really hopeful and to really understand that small check-ins matter. So it's just picking up the phone and checking on somebody is really important.
Community.
That connection matters. Yeah, that community. Sometimes people just need to know that people see them, and so we are focusing on is going to be some fun, meaningful wellness initiatives. We've got a really great one going on right now on our channel partners Facebook page called Channelgram. Reach out, send somebody a note that says, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you. Like, because you are a rock star.
Oh, thank you so much. You're my.
It's like
get each other.
Like Andrew said, pick up the phone and just tell somebody today how much you genuinely care about them. And so that's kind of my challenge to it this year, is thinking through that, how you guys can do that and celebrate each other.
All right. So our two guests were purposeful today. First, we had Mary, because I have challenged Mary to build a best in class people organization, recruiting. We're going to be the best not only in country, best in the world. That's what I believe. That's how arrogant I am. I believe we can be that good. I also believe we can be Melissa Watson. I believe we can be better to our people than anybody. I just do. I believe we can be the best. That's how arrogant I am. And I believe you can be the person that can do it, Melissa. I believe you can be the person that says we show how we value the health, wellness, emotional state, physical state of our people beyond anything else. I want you to be loud about it. I want you to be vocal about it. I want you to be opinionated about it. And I want you to push back on me when I forget. That's the deal. Because at the end of the day, someone still has to show up and our people matter. And if we don't treat them well and we don't pay attention, then what are we doing here? That's what I believe. Melissa?
Yeah, I agree. I think you're spot on. I think we have to be there for each other and just really lift each other up and celebrate the positives. So I'm really looking forward to this year.
I love it. And if Melissa doesn't do her job, everybody, remind her why she's here. She's here to work at the privilege of all of you. She's here to make sure your journey is as safe and connective and positive as possible. And if she doesn't do her job, I want you to tell her. And then tell me.
No, and I just want to say, since we have the chat going, that you can drop some things in the chat too. Like, what do you do for your own wellness? And especially if you're on the road a lot and you're disconnected, what do you do to stay engaged? You know, I think this is a great place. And look, there's some great comments coming in here. You know, Melissa's, I
have one I learned, and then we're going to ask Jimmy about his. So the one I've learned, I've got a friend who does this, which is new to me. She does a bingo card for each year. So every year she fills out a bingo card full of things that she wants to do. 30 days drinking water, 30-day fast, 30 days exercise, 30 days diary or journaling, 30 days of meditation, no caffeine for whatever it might be for 2 months, whatever it might be. And then she tries to create a bingo at some point through the entire year. That's my new one I tried. I was like, you know what? Can I at least make one bingo? I don't have to do all. How many are there?
Baby steps.
BINGO, 5 times 5. There's 25 squares, I guess. I don't know. I'll play bingo. Let's say there's 25. You don't have to do all 25 things. Just do 5. Just make a bingo, right?
Or just do one. I mean, literally one change is better than no change.
Yeah,
like I was just telling Kristen Matias, our director of HR, you know, I'm like, because everyone talks about how hard it is to work out. I bought a rebounder. I'm like now kind of more housebound.
What's a rebounder?
It's a little miniature trampoline. 5 minutes a day is like the equivalent of like running a mile.
What's the weight capacity on that thing? Because I don't know.
And it's lymphatic.
I don't know.
There's like lymphatic drainage. You guys have to look up this rebounder statistic. They did NASA.
Yeah.
It's backed by NASA. Like they did.
Is
this
there a
for
commercial
astronauts.
grade version? Because I'm not sure Jimmy and I are getting on
that.
Oh my gosh.
Is there an
Well,
XL?
We got to wrap this up. We have
All
like
right.
2 more minutes and we have to hop into
You know
something
what,
else
though?
live.
Just let me interject. For me, I take a page out of my management team's book. My district managers, my regional manager. This job sometimes becomes a little stressful, right? Because we deal with in management a lot of the problems, the issues, the fires. How do we put them out? How do we pivot? How do we course correct? So, you know, my district managers, I learn from them. Some of them, they'll take a walk. You know, I got a guy named Eric Scally, call him Sammy. And Sammy, he's one of those managers that sometimes he'll take a walk, you know, just to kind of clear his mind. And that helps. Barb, she rides her Harley. You got to see her. She gets into the wind and rides that thing and takes all the tension off. But, you know, you have to have some type of out in order to be able to deal with the day-to-day operation. And it keeps you sane. It keeps you sane for sure. So shout out to those guys.
Well, listen, Jimmy, Heather, I want to close it with this. First of all, thank you both. I don't know that hopefully everyone listening out there who's maybe listened live, the ability for these individuals to do this live in real time, getting to know each other is nothing short of amazing. I am so impressed by you, Miss Patron. I am so impressed by you, Jimmy. I'm going to drink my own Kool-Aid today and say I'm thankful for the both of you. And I am appreciative of how good you both are at this.
Thank you.
I'm blown away. To be honest with you.
But
I will close with this. One of my, I know you guys, I'm a huge metaphor person and a quote person, read a lot, whatever it is. Einstein, great quote. What got us here won't get us there. Right? So we talked about accountability today. Maybe look at some of the things you've done to get where you are today some of the decisions you've made in accountability, transparency, owning mistakes, course correcting, whatever it might be. And see if maybe where you are today, if you want it to be different tomorrow, maybe try some different methods, right? Because what got you where you are today, I don't believe is necessarily the whole answer to where is going to get you where you want to be, right? Great Einstein quote, one of my favorites of all time, and I live it every day, that sometimes I approach a situation with the same thought process of what got me there, and I get the same result, which is what I don't want. So thank you to Heather. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, everybody out there. We were live, and we will go live again in 3 months.
Or right now.
Or right now, whatever.
If you're tuning into Straight Talk.
If you're tuning into Straight Talk. Heather and Jimmy, any closing remarks? Thank you both, my friends, my partners.
Keep taking ownership and tune into the next episode. We're gonna cover mastery.
Mastery.
Yes.
Mr. Jimmy.
Hey, all I can say is, guys, it's been great. Appreciate the opportunity, and tune in.
Tune in. Lots to learn here. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day out there and keep representing the brand.